Hello there, guys, and welcome to episode number 2 of our F1 2024 career mode here on the channel. We had a terrific start in Bahrain. As you may remember, we finished P4 of all places in a Williams. That's insane. With Albon also finishing in the top 10, we are third in the constructors as well, so that is a really, really good start for us. Today, then, we head to Jeddah, a track I genuinely just get infuriated by way too easily. Like, I used to love it, but for some reason, you know, towards the back end of the last game cycle, I absolutely hated it. I really struggled when I was playing in my team career to even get out of Q3, Q1 even, the first qualifying, sorry. So anyway, off to Jeddah we go. Let's hope we can get perfect perfect result for the team, just like we did last weekend. So going into qualifying on a circuit I'm normally not the greatest at, this is a fairly decent lap from me. You know, I've had last year in the my team career that I did, which was more personal because I didn't really post it. I didn't do too well here, even with a fully upgraded car. We got knocked out in Q1 once, but you know, P6 first of all, we do drop down eventually, you know, but this the time we gain on the second lap. Honestly, I do not recall driving any different to the first lap, but we ended up setting the fastest lap of the race somehow, which is absolutely insane. But we all know what happens next. Max Verstappen takes that takes that off us. Cheers, Max. But seriously, I'm really confused because I am usually quite bad in Jeddah. But is this going to be my is this going to be my day in the Williams, much like it was in Bahrain? Then into my first lap in Q2. Again, I was feeling really good. Like, genuinely, really happy with my performance once again on this lap. I've usually smacked a few walls by now on qualifying laps. You know, I'd not even taken any damage in qualifying. What a miracle that was. As yeah, we looked to come home, and in the end, we would get up into P3. And I got too cocky. Absolute nightmare in qualifying. I get too cocky. I was that annoyed, I just didn't even wait around to see what happened. Albon out qualifies me, which is seriously annoying. But, and that's a big but, this isn't the race, this is qualifying. It's all about what we can do on race day. Let's get to it.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Joe, Albon, Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz, Dynamo, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Sonoda, Ricciardo, and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, we had great fun watching them win last time out. What a great victory it was. But can they carry that into today's race?
It's the important one, isn't it, Crofty? You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
We had a terrible qualifying here in Jeddah, but we're looking to bounce back like we did in Bahrain as we go to 5 red lights, and away we go for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here. As instantly we're looking, after looked like a slow start, but we are looking to push a few places here as we first of all look to get past Carlos Sainz, and we have a little bit of a collision with him, but we eventually overtake him. But straight away then he is going to now look to get back with us as he sort of clips our rear end there and almost sends us spinning, but we just about pull away from him here. But we end up off track, which would also give it a bit of potential to catch us back up, but we start to pull away then toward, which means at the end of the first lap we are up to P12 from P13. Not a massive jump, but hopefully it's a sign of what's to come for the remainder of the race. Then into lap number 3, DRS open for me, and also Sainz, who initially overtakes us, along with Lance Stroll, as we get a bit aggressive there and push him into the wall a little bit. It was a bit needless from me, as I quickly checked the car for damage, but we already know we're going to get DRS again here. We open that up, we open the RS up, and we look to chase down the 2 drivers that just overtook us. A massive dive bomb into turn 1. We just about get it completed, and we just about get ahead of both Sainz and Stroll, and we stay in P12 as we try to hunt Alex Albon down, which is going to be something we do quite often during this race. But right now that is almost a futile thing to be thinking about, because we can't pull away from Carlos Sainz, who pulls his car ahead of us. We overshoot then in the corners, we try to get the place back quickly, and that even allows Lance Stroll himself to take over from us, get ahead of us, as we then open DRS and look to catch them both back up. Sainz is already away, but we just about managed to get Lance Stroll as we head into turn 1. It's been a major overtake zone for us during this race as turn 1 so far. As we head now into lap 7 with the task of not having too many collisions, Lance Stroll then overtakes us, and now he has DRS on us. We have to open ERS to keep ahead of him as we make contact with Lance there, and that is probably going to become a major problem for us as we now have damage. Luckily for us, we were boxing this lap, so it wasn't like we were going to have to go out of our way to box. But, well, that really was the start of the capitulation of our race right there. You know, we were struggling to catch Albon up. You saw the gap, it was about 6 seconds. And this car just for some reason was not living up to expectations. Into lap 8 now, you know, all the way down in P19. Luckily, with people pitting, you know, around this time, we managed to catch up and make a few overtakes and get up to P17, but it wasn't enough, as now we look to chase down Yuki Tsunoda. And then into the end of lap 9, into the final DRS zone of lap 9, we attempt to overtake Yuki. It's actually the first DRS zone, sorry, my bad. As we go for a massive dive bomb here, and we then look to pull away with DRS again, but we are living life dangerously at the moment with these little dive bombs. We made contact with the wall there into lap 11 then. We do set the fastest lap, but that is it for realistically for racing for the remainder of this race. You can see the gap starting to form. You can see the gap ahead of me. Max Verstappen then would come home with the victory once again. Absolutely no surprises there at all. And, well, all that was really left for us to do was get over the finish line. You know, there was basically no racing after lap 9. And, you know, the only other thing that happened was really lap 12 when we set the fastest lap, which then got taken off us by somebody. I can't remember who it was. But it was something that really needed addressing. I'm glad they did address it in the latest patch. Obviously, at the time of recording this, the patch hadn't been released. And it was really frustrating, you know, coming home P13 from P13 after not seeing any cars in front of me for the majority of the race. It just showed that some of the cars were doing better than they should, other cars were not doing good enough. You know, it was hard to drive the driver's car because, you know, there was areas where it was so slow compared to the others. You know, there was, at points it seemed like the ERS stream for the racers were, for the, no, not for the racers, for the AI, sorry, were just not at a level where it was ever going down. It was more infinite, really, which is realistically why I'm glad in the latest patch they did ultimately change that. And yeah, you'll see as the episodes go on now that, you know, races do get a little bit more interesting than this, because, you know, not only am I bored editing this, I was bored racing that race because it was such a bad race. Like, honestly, the only thing that could be worse for that would be Monaco. You know, the only race worse than that, Monaco. Seriously. It is really frustrating, but I promise you the races will get better. Oh boy. Really frustrating day. But luckily for us, we didn't drop any places. We stayed where we started. Albon ended up not getting any points either, but he did finish above us. Max Verstappen was the one who took the fastest lap off me. Seriously, seriously frustrating. In terms of ratings, then, we would still get really decent amounts of increases on different areas, and even the overall rating went up. So, but behind all the frustration, I am pretty happy that I completed a race at Jeddah. I'm happy that I did decent in Jeddah. You know, for a Williams car, it's still a decent result, but it's just frustrating. Anyway, after the race, decided to put the points to good use by a couple of upgrades, and yeah, that is going to be it then for episode number 2 of the My Team career. As you can see, we do have a pretty decent car for the midfield battle at the moment. That result, no points for either of us, so we do remain on 14 points in the constructors. I'm now down to 8th in the drivers. We are down to 5th in the constructors. That's it for today's video, as I said. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's getting better edited, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.